All right, everybody. It has been a while since we have had a live stream. I have solved the technical difficulty side. And today we're going to talk about some of the stuff that is going on here at the farm. We've got some really big projects going on that is really just taking a lot of time. And we are really, really behind where we were last year at this time. So let's talk about what's going on. Overall, we're about 3 weeks behind from where we were last year. And that's not a big problem, but it's definitely starting to show that we're behind. The entire month of January, pretty much the entire month of February, it rained, and we are so far behind in our outside chores, so to speak, to get things done so that we can be on time for planting day, which is around mid-May. So overall, we've got a lot going on. One of the cool things that has been taking up a lot of time is we are working on a really, really big project, and I can't wait to tell you guys about it. I'm not ready to dive into it yet, but in about 2 to 3 weeks, it should be here on the farm, and we're gonna dive right into it of what we've been doing. This is a project that I have been involved in since Thanksgiving, pretty much since Thanksgiving. We have been doing this, and it's going to hit a big milestone here next week. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys. Of the questions that I've been getting lately, this time of year, I get the same questions, and I'll address them. I'm not going to talk about them in a video, because if you're here watching, I can easily get that question answered for you guys. So number one question I get this time of year is, what do I need to do to be a hemp farmer? And of course, I am not the wizard of hemp answers. So I really do hate when people come to me and drill me for questions. I can only give you my experience. So a lot of folks, I don't know how they take it, So to be a profitable hemp farmer, and everybody's different. It's one of those things where if you have money to burn, you can do whatever you want with hemp. And I've run into a couple of different situations, different people who have asked me similar questions with totally different scenarios. When it comes to being a hemp farmer, you got to know what you want out of it. Recently I got a question that says, hey, the person had already bought seeds that, they were ready to go. What do they need to do for requirements and to sell it? So they've already committed to being a hemp farmer, and they're asking me the business side of it. And that's one of those things where, like, you should have a business plan before you buy those seeds. And I responded, the individual really didn't like my answer, but at the end of the day, I can only tell you what to do. And if finances aren't a problem, then yeah, go for it. Just be ready to burn whatever money you put in there, because there's a high probability quite a bit with people who see the green rush. Joseph, I see your question. I will get to you guys. Just leave your questions in the live chat, and I'll hit you guys up towards the end of the live stream. But for the short answer, not yet. So, when we get those questions, I get those questions. I really try to give you guys my best answer. But overall, when it comes to becoming a farmer, being profitable, those are all plans you need to do before you buy seeds. You need to know the regulations in your state. You need to have at least an idea, a plan, so to speak, of what you're going to do with that hemp when you harvest it or after you harvest it. There's got to be some foresight. And that's what I always run into with folks. So I always get a bunch of questions this time of year. They're starting out, and that's great. I'm all for growing hemp, cannabis, you name it. I'm all for it. I want you guys to do it. But, just if you're going to become a hemp farmer and not just a cannabis grower, it's a lot different. And if you're going to try to make a business out of it, you really have to be on top of your game, and you can't really just wing it. Even when we started in 2019, we had a plan, though that plan changed multiple times throughout the year. We had a plan. If you don't go into it from a plan, you're probably going to fail. So this is the annual speech of how to become a hemp farmer. Guys, I know I love the questions, and feel free to keep emailing me those questions. At this time of year, I always get a lot of them, and there is no right or wrong answer to becoming a hemp farmer. If you're comfortable with doing it, go for it. Ask me some questions. I'll be glad to answer them, but I can't set your business up for you. So that's my thing with that. Also, recently, a number of folks have asked about decarbing flour. We have a lot of videos when it comes to making your own CBD oil and all that. And what's the magic behind decarbing? I get a lot of those questions. There's a science to it, and there's also a guessing game to it because it's not an exact science. So for those folks, I'll probably make a video, but in short, you're releasing the gases. You're turning, let's say, CBDA into CBD. And there's also some false information that floats around that says CBDA is not a valuable cannabis. It absolutely is valuable, and you can use it. So that's one thing I've been getting a lot of about decarbing. There's that mystery. You can't do it. Every recipe is different. Everybody does it differently. So, just kind of do that. So maybe look for a video on that. I've been getting a lot of questions about decarbing all of a sudden. I see a few of you guys in the chat, Greystone, James, Joseph. I love hanging out with you guys. Thank you for the support on the channel. But I do have some stuff I want to talk to you guys about. This is our first live stream that we have done in quite a while. And I can see the technical difficulties are still kind of hanging around, but it seems like the live stream is. So as far as the 2021 grow, so let's talk about that, because normally we've already entered phase one of our farm plan for 2021, and I haven't really talked about it in any of our videos. And I'll try to put a video out Tuesday of the update for this week, and hopefully we'll have another update with the big project that we are undertaking right now. We have had to cut back on some of our grand plans for 2021, and the big project is big. Let me tell you, it's really big. And when we do make a video about it and finally show all of our supporters what we have been doing for the last 4, almost 5 months, you guys, hopefully you'll be excited, and I know I am, and how that will affect the farm. So some things we won't be doing in 2021. We had talked about major expansion, maybe doing more. So we're going to expand. It's just not going to be another grow. We're not going to move another field to hemp. We're going to keep doing what we've been doing and add a few plants, optimize our grow area that we have, and we're going to use that. There was a lot of trying to get a second grow and open up a second field for this. It just is not going to materialize fast enough before the grow season, which really is a bummer. But unfortunately, another thing that we're not going to be doing in 2021 is no CBG. We're just not going to be doing it. We're not looking for it. We're not looking for genetics. We're not dipping our toe in that water anymore. From everything that I have tried to do to get good CBG genetics, it has been really, really just a scam artist. There's been scammers everywhere, and I just don't trust anybody that says they have real CBG genetics. Maybe like some of the big players, like I forget their name now, but they're out in Oregon. They have good ones. There's a few out there, really hard to get your hands on. And I just don't see the market really materializing in 2021. It seemed like it fell flat on its face in 2020. And I'm just not going to risk it trying to get genetics that aren't going to be good. No CBG for 2021. We're just not going to be doing it. It's not going to happen on our farm. Some of the things we will be doing is we're going to be planting more biox next year. It seems to be our customer's favorite, and it's my personal favorite that we grow here on the farm. It is by far the most aroma. It has the best aroma, grows really, really well, has the nicest buds of all the plants. So we will be growing more biox next year. We will be cutting back our cherry wine, and we will say goodbye to a couple of strains, Desert Snow being one, which that was on the chopping block after the harvest season we had last year. OCCBD may or may not return. It's going to depend on amount of space that we have, but chances are it will not return. Auto sweeten may also be on the chopping block as well, but it will not be forgotten. We're actually doing a breeding experiment with it, so we'll have auto sweeten may show up in another form later on, but this will be most likely its last year. We do have some new strains on the farm. We have a blackberry Jalo. I think I'm saying it right. That is berry blossom with alpine genetics, alpine Jalo or whatever they call it. It's a purple flower, so we should be seeing some purple flowers. And to get to Joseph's questions about autos outdoors, we actually have them on order. We do have a few seeds of autos coming, and that is part of our new experiment this year. So we are going to be using our own genetics. So what we're breeding right now with the Biox berry crossed with cherry wine, more Biox berry, obviously. And as we get into more regular seeds, as we start using more regulars, there's that probability of more males, more lost plants in a timely manner, that where we could take them out of the ground and then plant an auto directly into the ground. That is our plan for this year. So we will be planting autos outside, and we will be attempting to fill the holes that the males that get cut cause. So we don't lose any grow area to males. That is the ultimate plan when it comes to growing autos outside. So to answer your question, Joseph, we haven't done it yet, but we are going to be doing it this year. So definitely follow along, see how that goes if you're hesitant. I'm kind of hesitant, although I've talked with the breeder. It's a fairly reputable breeder. I don't name names because, there was already an issue with this particular breeder. So not that they didn't correct it. They did. And they did a great job of reaching out and getting it all done. But this is why I don't recommend breeders. One of the things that is like semi on the chopping block, and we didn't talk about it a lot this year, which was bees. We were going to really try to do CBD honey, try to get bees on the farm and see how they interact with the hemp, see how they do as far as just interacting and creating CBD style honey. But it looks like they are leaning towards not happening. And it really is disappointing. I have everything set up. I have a hive. I have everything. But unfortunately, they may be on the chopping block, or if I can postpone it, maybe I can get bees later on. But right now, we are slammed. There isn't a day in March that isn't accounted for, and April is already flat out for us here on the farm. And at some point, we actually have to break ground and start planting plants in middle of May. So that is a little disappointing. One of the things that we're going to be doing this year is planting a lot of our own strains. And I know I touched on it with the autos, but we are going to be planting a lot of our strains now. So really, when it comes to new strains, it's going to be what we bring to the table, not what we purchase and bring to the farm. So yeah, we've purchased 2 new strains this year. But chances are you're going to see more crosses you're going to see own genetics. And that's really where I kind of want to be as a hemp farmer. I really want to have my own genetics going forward. I want to keep my own mother plants, and I really want that to kind of be my signature thing moving forward as we do these breeding experiments throughout the winter. All right, so that's pretty much the overall of what is going on here at the farm. And again, we are undertaking a huge project right now that you guys are going to find out about very, very soon. So if you guys have questions, leave them in the live chat. I'm going to get to some of the questions I see in here. Let's see. It's the difference between hobbyist and professional and mega farming. Yeah, I mean, I would consider us a hobby farm. Greystone, I know you're talking on the live chat. Hobby. Some people take hobby farm as a like it's a negative thing to say. I don't take that as at all. Originally, of course, we wanted to be a professional, full-time job hemp farm. I don't think the market demand is there. And I know there's a lot of things that I could do personally to put myself in a better position to be a professional as far as a hemp farm goes. But I would consider myself a hobby farmer. I have a day job, and I've had one for some time now while I run the farm. And the farm does its own thing. But as you'll see with this big project, the farm can't supply everything. I have to have a day job in order to do certain things. I usually make sure that the farm can support itself when it comes to buying new genetics, buying everything for the grow, but we don't make enough in sales to make it a full-time job. So we're a hobby farm. I have a day job, and I consider myself a professional in anything that I do. A professional is just my demeanor. I take cannabis seriously, and I don't, I don't just kick it around. It is a hobby, but it's also a profession that I'm really passionate about. All right, so James, can you take indoor plants outside for a day if it's very nice out, as long as you don't with the light schedule? Yeah, James, I'm sure you enjoyed our 80-degree weather day here in Virginia. I know I was out on the farm pretty much all day until it was time to cook dinner. To answer your question, yes, you can take them outside. You will not hurt those plants, and you'll be fine. So just keep them out in the beautiful weather that we had today. But they should be inside by now because it is dark outside. But yes, James, I actually do. Even in the middle of January, we'll get one of those days. I will bring them outside and let them air out. I really think nothing beats natural sunlight. And it also saves on the electric bill to turn off the lights for a little bit. But that's a great question, James. I mean, yeah, it could be a little scary because you could trigger them. But if you leave them outside, you will definitely make them flower very quickly. I have made that mistake once. Let's see. Thanks for the love, Joseph. Chuck Norris, greenhouse this summer. Man, Chuck Norris is in my chat. All right. No, greenhouse, not for me. Our greenhouse has been destroyed. This winter, it's done. Now, it was one of those very inexpensive online throw together greenhouses. Definitely on our radar for this fall is to build a real greenhouse. But ours is in shambles, and I'm not going to waste any time or money fixing it. But one of the things we have issues with in Virginia when it comes to greenhouses is the heat. I do know that. I believe you got to roll them up, and at that point, what's the point of the greenhouse? At least for me. What do you think you'll grow in 2024? We will grow most likely both in 2024. There's a lot of moving parts with that, James, and that's a very loaded question. Sneaky. But in 2024, marijuana has been legalized in Virginia. I know it's a little kick the can down the road. That date might move. 2024 is not set in stone. The governor has signaled that he may move that date up. It did not line up with where he wanted it. He was the one that introduced a lot of that stuff. So in Virginia, we're kind of holding our breath. April 7th is a big day. So the governor most likely will make a proposal change to the bill. This is for us Virginia farmers. On April 7th, the Virginia legislature convenes, and they were going to debate and most likely vote on his amendments to that bill. I have heard that simple possession and home grow have been two huge topics for the governor. And as far as moving those dates forward, he has signaled from the inner channels that I have heard that he does want to move those dates up. I'm all for it. Especially even for home growth. We can just even get started with 4 plants here on the farm, really start messing with some genetics. That would be huge. We have collaborated with a farm in Vermont in the past. We do have access to really good genetics up north, but we don't know how they grow here in Virginia. And one of the things that we could conquer even if the full farming didn't take place until 24, that would give us 2 seasons at least to get some genetic research done. So to answer your question, James, in 2024, we plan on growing both CBD and THC cannabis. We are in line to do the permitting. We are waiting to see what that takes. But as part of this big project that we are doing, it is definitely gearing up for 2024. And it's been a long process. And that's why we started in November, because we had inside information that this was all going to happen. 2024 was not really mentioned, though. That was something they've done recently. So, yeah, guys, that's pretty much what's going on here at the farm. It's been really slow because of all the rain all winter. And now we've really hit pedal to the metal. These last 2 weeks have flown by, and we have done so much here on the farm to really get ourselves, try to catch up. Typically, if you were to go back last year, we had already started doing soil amendments. We haven't even done a soil amendment yet. So we are very behind. It's not a big deal when it comes to the plants. I've already talked to our soil tester. He's been really great about interacting with me about what to add, when to add. And of course, they all say that the longer it sits in the soil, the better and more available it will be for the plant. But that doesn't mean it's not going to work if we amend it in late March, early April for the plant in May. It's just it's nice to let it cook longer. You know, it's like a crock pot versus trying to cook something really quick. You want it to let it stew a little bit. It definitely helps the ground out. James, I know I'm making leaps in understanding every few months am I growing. Can't wait to hear all the info from all of Virginia and unique growing area. Well, I'm not eons ahead, James. I've learned from very hard experience, but I do appreciate the kind words. You gotta get me an email. You gotta show me your plants, see how you're doing. I know we had communicated in the past, but we all learn from experience. That's why I was saying that the 4 plants for Virginia is huge. If we can grow the 4 THC plants starting this year, that would be really awesome. And I really hope that that's something we can do. All right, so we've kind of covered everything that's going on here at the farm. We are doing minor plant expansion. We're going to jump up a little bit, but not a lot. No second grow. Unfortunately, I think bees are going to be cut. I don't know how much I talked about bees in the past, or if you guys were even interested, but we had made all the moves to get bees, but it doesn't look like that's going to be a thing. We are going to be making our own genetics, as you guys have been following along in the indoor grow. That video should drop Tuesday. If I can't get it out Tuesday, wait for it next Friday. I'll do one of those 2-week combo videos again. But that is really it, folks. I wanted to get on here, kind of see if you guys had any questions. Looks like you guys have had a few questions. Hopefully I had answered them. If not, you can always email me, guys, if you guys have any burning questions when it comes to growing or cannabis in general. Go ahead and feel free to email me. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook. If you guys are looking to support the farm right now, we could use all the support we could ever need. With this big project, has really strained our stuff here on the farm, our finances on the farm. Hopefully this project is working. This is one of the biggest undertakings in my lifetime, not only for the business, but in general, something that I have done and put so much effort into this project. When I unveil it, I really hope you guys are as excited as I am. It will be huge for us. And, you got to spend money to make money is what they say. So hopefully this is one of those times where we've spent enough, plenty, to get ahead. We're trying to move York River Cannabis to that next level. And that's really where 2021 is going to put us. Last year we kind of protracted, found our footing, and now this year we are going to take a step forward, which is going to be fun. We're going to be trailblazing again this year. I know last year we kind of sat on our heels a little bit, didn't do a whole lot, really just dialed in the growing. Now that we've got that dialed in, it's time to move forward again, and I'm really excited. It's going to be really, really big, guys. And so look for that video in the near future. I'm just not ready to share it yet because it's not completely done, and I don't want to jinx myself. It's that big. Okay, so appreciate y'all stopping by tonight. I'm tired. I've been outside all day. It's been 80 degrees here in Virginia, and I'm going to go relax this evening. So thank you guys for stopping by. If you guys want to support our farm, you know where to look. Links are usually in the description of each video and a live stream. Go ahead and check them out. Email me. As always, guys, you can ask all the questions via email. Leave a comment, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. But that's it, guys. I hope you have a really great evening. I hope you all stay happy, healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.